I'm off to Melbourne, on the train of course, because that allows me to take my bike. I'm going to make a film about a local politician there, Jackie Fristacky, who's very pro-bike. And not bikes as sport. Many pollies are for those, but bikes as transport, a very different thing. I caught a talk of hers recently at a Bike Futures conference in Melbourne. I was amazed to hear that in her part of the city, Yarra, bikes get used more for going to work than anywhere else in Australia. How come, I thought? I'm very early. That's her house across the road there. I like to get a feel for where people live. Especially relevant in this case because Jackie lives on one of the most famous bike routes into Melbourne. More bikes come into town on Canning Street here each morning than on any other. And she must ride her bike along here too, because I know she rarely uses the family car. Indeed, I heard that a few years ago when she was mayor, a Chinese delegation was very shocked. An important mayor without a car. What are we standing on here? We're on the
Canning Street, what I call the Canning Street Highway, bicycle highway. It is a closed off street and it's gradually become the premium route for cyclists. There were, just 2006, there were 500 cyclists in the morning peak. Now there's just on 1,000 in the morning peak, which is magnificent, yes.
We'll be heading for her office in the Fitzroy Town Hall. She'll dash from meeting to meeting by bike, claiming that it's the only way for her to get to places on time. No parking worries, no traffic jams, she says. And she doesn't change her clothes either. I noticed that the chain guard protects her skirt as she sits up real straight. That's rare here, where people are mostly hunched over to varying degrees. I noticed, it's interesting, of all those cyclists who just passed it, not a single one is on a sit-up bike.
Oh, I must admit I didn't notice that.
You don't change for the bike at all, do you? You're wearing a skirt.
Yes, this is a terrific chain guard. It's
see, none of these other riders are wearing skirts, are they?
I can go to a ball and I have done in a long cocktail dress on this bicycle, and it's ideal. You just sail up to the door and might look a bit of a sight, but gee, it's fun.
This corner at Princess Street with Canning is a major clogging point for bikes. Later in the day, Jackie will be at a meeting about this very corner.
Here we are.
Ahead, still on Canning, we find traffic lights which favour bikes with a head start. Another initiative that Yarra Council uses.
In 2002, when I was elected as a keen cyclist, colleagues on council, there were 4 Greens. Together we all really pushed for enhancing cycling in the city of Yarra.
Yarra City is an amalgamation of smaller councils, which means that Jackie's work is split over 3 old town halls, marvellous heritage buildings converted to modern needs. They were built in the 19th century. This one, the Fitzroy Town Hall, in 1873, after the gold rush had made Victoria rich and civic pride went wild. Jackie says the building gives off good vibes, makes you think of the public interest working in such surroundings, though it's said to be haunted too. What is your bikes here? I believe it's very dramatic.
Well, overall, City of Yarra is 9%, going on 10%. We did a bike count early this year, but it's increasing all the time. So that's terrific compared with the Melbourne average of 1%.
So what have you done to achieve this?
We've got a policy which we passed in 2004 that we would put bike paths on every road where feasible in the City of Yarra, and we've gradually been doing that. We've set examples as councillors, myself when I was mayor in 2006, not having mayoral car but riding to all my appointments.
Jackie has worked it out that she can attend meetings every hour on the hour as long as she gets away at the 1:45. This gives her enough biking time to get to the next meeting. Did you notice that her bike is electric? She says she can carry heavier loads like the shopping or taking files home. But most importantly, it means that she can go further, like tomorrow, to a meeting which is 15 kilometres round trip. The Richmond Town Hall is not as ornate as Fitzroy, but it's got its charm too. This meeting is about parking spaces for bikes. Every new development over a certain size must now make provision for bikes.
This is all open on the side here and it's fully enclosed, so it's private and secure. So there is adequate space within here to provide a number of bike spaces.
Okay.
So fully enclosed as in there's a fence?
There's
Hey Jason.
Being on a bike makes Jackie especially accessible. Vulnerable, you could say. This resident is concerned about possum damage and knows what he's talking about.
I tell you, these trees, they are cactus. We will not get another 12 months out of them. Yeah. They were stripped bare, and some of them, you know what council's like with the whole safety thing.
We've lost, what, 20 trees?
And seriously, you know, as much as I'm an animal lover, I'm a realist. This is, you know, I make my money out of photographing animals. That's my income. But the reality is that all over the world, when herbivores start eating out their habitat, something's got to be done. And you'll wind up, now they're look at it, oh, I'll show you, straight across the top of the corner here.
Well, this is...
See the tree in the middle of Rathdown?
Yeah.
See the canopy going out of it?
Mark, Jackie Fristacky ringing. I'm just at Curtin Square, North Carlton, with Jason Edwards. He's offered to come and meet with you and Michael Rogers, the arborist. Give me a call back and we look forward to arranging that sometime. Cheerio.
That's great, Jackie, thanks.
That's Sarah, the family dog, not at all pleased that she hasn't had her walk this morning. Even walking the dog, she's on duty, or so she sees herself.
Councillor Jackie Fristacky again, just reporting graffiti on the plinth, the Queen Victoria plinth. It's been pretty badly graffitied, it looks like all sides. Sad, isn't it? Those vandals, I think. Michael, Jackie Fristacky.
So Jackie is finally a tad late for the meeting of the Bicycle Advisory Committee, which meets regularly. Community reps, bike advocates and council people. Today the discussion is about that Canning Street intersection we saw earlier.
And that, so the black line is what sort of we've suggested.
I think one of the things that gives a clue as to why Yarra Council is doing well with bikes is the fact that I can't tell the difference looking around the table between who are council people and who are bike reps, apart from Jackie, of course. That and the fact that they're spending $17 per resident, way more than any other council, on bike infrastructure.
Anyone wants to take some sandwiches?
It's a hard act to follow, but I'm hoping other councils might think it's worth a try. Yarra is a happy place. Now, if I could just persuade CountryLink that it's crazy for me to have to take my bike apart to get it on their damn train, my trip back would be wonderful.